not hiring judges.
I mean, if they were concerned about it, they would have given us. They could have given us what, $8 billion in 2017, 2% of what we sent to Ukraine, and we could have built that whole. You remember that news cycle where it's too expensive.
You leave Ukraine out of this because I disagree with you on that one.
Yeah,
I know
Ukraine's a blast lately, man. Ukraine's taking Russia.
Ukraine war! Let's agree on something, Woody. Let's fucking shit on Taylor. Shit on Taylor.
Miles of Russia they've taken.
Ukraine just released 30 robot dogs into the battlefield.
Yes, the robot dogs are in service.
Now, is this practical?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We've released
cool.
30 dogs from Lockheed Martin, 40 mil a pop. It was wet.
Is that how much they cost?
It never is. I don't know. The drones are something Ukraine's making themselves. Like that's if there's any weapons of war that Ukraine makes, it's this drone stuff. That's where
guerrilla warfare at this point, right?
I saw a video last week. No, it is not guerrilla. They've invaded
pretty
Russia.
Frontline.
What does drone mean nowadays? I'm sorry. What does guerrilla mean?
I saw them blow up like a $15 million Russian attack helicopter with a drone. They hit its tail rotor. They hit its tail rotor. I've never seen that. It came in from above the helicopter. I don't know why they're flying so fucking low, or why they're not able to detect drones around them. Maybe I'm giving helicopters too much credit. Like you would think.
I saw a military expert talk about that, and he was saying that drone was so cheap. That drone was less than $1,000, and it took out a $15 million helicopter. Our missiles cost $1 million. What are we talking about?
I was doing Toby dying in a helicopter.
Do it again. I like the fear and hopelessness in your eyes.
Who's Toby?
His daughter was next to him. His daughter is
Kobe.
His young daughter was next to him when he died. So incorporate that into your like.
No, I'm not gonna do
so bad.
Because I noticed before you looked left and then right, like you were looking for a way out, but clearly there was none, and you were resigned to your fate and terror.
No, I don't
but now you have your daughter to worry about as well. So action.
No, just Kobe. Just the one who did those not so chill things to those ladies.
Just
Taylor, you don't understand. He was really good.
One
at
lady,
basketball.
4 rings.
So good.
Is it 4?
He was so good in putting the ball in that hoop, hooping it up.
Yeah,
ask anyone.
We got away from it earlier. Ukraine has pushed very far into Russia, seemingly capturing towns, and I sent you guys that clip in there. If you want to see that man's head exploding, it's pretty hard fucking core. There's a Russian fellow in the woods. No. Yeah, it's good. Watch it. I want to watch a little piece.
I want to watch
animals
dissolve. Fight, not people.
Like Alka-Seltzer in water. A little bit of your soul just.
It's a tweet. The tweet said Russian soldier headbutts a drone. So I was like, oh, that's clever. Like he took it to the drone before the drone blew up, right? Like swatting it out of the ground, but he has a helmet on, so he headbutts the drone. Turns out that makes drones explode, and he had an awful headache.
Yeah, he literally headbutts a drone flying straight at him, but it was one of those exploding on impact drones. So that was like the worst thing you can do. Excuse me, second worst thing. I saw a guy in a field, and one of those drones was coming at him. And he must have been like a motorcycle Russian or some shit because he had a little canister of gasoline. And at the last moment, he thought to himself, I'll huck a can of gasoline at the exploding drone. And I swear to God, it blew the gas up like something out of one of my fucking YouTube videos and like shot it all over him and burned him alive in the field.
That guy was not a professional Russian.
Jeez.
No, and he didn't have a backup crew with a fire hose or anything.
How can you not watch like a snake eating another snake, and you can watch people die?
That's right. It makes no sense.
Absolutely true.
Watching because people die is bad for you, dude.
The snake didn't go into the other snake's land to like rape and pillage and steal. Okay, look, those guys are trespassers.
You say tomato.
And I don't like trespassers. That's it. Full stop. As a, I just don't like trespassers. They should go home, and they wouldn't have any of these issues with drones exploding.
Technically, this happened in Russia,
according to the Russians.
It happened to a Russian, not a Ukrainian.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't watch the videos where Ukrainians die. Like, there's just as many, but I don't.
I got you. Now.
Yeah, I never watch those. I only,
as far as I know, that hasn't happened yet.
I haven't seen one die yet. I have, but it was heroic. I've only seen Ukrainian. I saw like a Ukrainian like running through foxholes, like da 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 da.
Yeah.
You know what? Like I put that on my channel, and I lost like 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
What did you put?
I put it on my. Did you see the one where the guys are going through the the foxholes,
the
tunnels, and then they corner these guys in the room and they finish them up in the room.
I saw that, I think.
And it was the one that I posted on my Instagram stories was even like pixelated and stuff, so you couldn't see particulars. And a lot of people were upset about it.
So we learn a lot about this in our paintball games, guys. You see here how he's begging for mercy. Well, amateur move, because none is shown, as we're about to see.
That's how it goes. That's the real. That's how it goes, bro.
That's how it is in paintball,
dude. I ain't taking no prison. There's no way I'd be trying to take any goddamn prisoners if I'm running into a Russian foxhole position. Like, do you give up? Like, we've got some kind of language barrier? No. What the fuck?
Language barrier?
Do they even have resources for prisoners?
Different languages. They're just similar. They're like cousin languages.
Yeah,
a lot of Ukrainians speak Russians. I heard this story, and you'll like it. So the Russians are trying to send their army equipment, big trucks, tanks, etc., to the part of Russia that the Ukrainians occupy. So what the Ukrainians do is they call all the Russian civilians, pretending they're the Russian government, and they tell them to evacuate. All the roads jam. There's traffic jams fucking everywhere. The military can't get their tanks and trucks into the towns, and the Ukrainians take them.
They should really have a better system for governmental like message pass down in Russia if they're getting got by what amounts to a prank.
Yeah, right, yeah. So, apparently, and part of the story, I'll be really quick, that a lot of Ukrainians can sound just like Russians.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were.
Well, it's like Canadians and Americans, right?
Until the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
So here's an article from a couple years ago. It says in it's from the Moscow Times, by the way. So indoor plumbing still a pipe dream for 20% of Russians. Like, just know who you're dealing with here, okay?
Still a pipe dream.
Yeah, that's a clever little thing. I like it.
Oh, Sergey is booming today. Just writing for
on his old typewriter, probably.
Yeah.
Right, with the arms that go.
Oh, I make a funny. Greatest Russian joke ever. Pipe dream. Send that guy to the gulag.
Hashtag LOL.
Yeah, theirs would be like hashtag XYX or like something unbelievably aggressive. They have an entire language in caps.
Dude, that is the Russians.
So
I worked with a couple of Russians at Cisco, and it was like, are you mad at me? Like, why are you yelling at me all the time? We're talking about the project.
We are from unbelievably cruel and cold place. And I will treat you like
but I watched a YouTube video the other day, and it was like a documentary in rural Russia somewhere. That's a pretty broad statement, obviously, because Russia is so fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
But anyway, in this village, they didn't have any plumbing. So, and to describe the weather environment, it seemed like it was perpetually muddy and mucky and damp, and not quite freezing, but cold.
Oh,
that seemed to be like perpetual. So there's always standing pools of water and mud, and the mud seems slippery and sticky at the same time. And you had to walk to these shit and all of the garbage. And I mean, not just like your average box of like donuts that's empty, but like whole like doors and like manufacturing roughage was just thrown in heaps in the field, in the town. Like they didn't put it somewhere. And then they were sitting in India. And this lady, they interviewed this old Russian lady, and she's like, they're like, what are your biggest fears with the upcoming blah blah blah? And she's like, my biggest fear is I will fall into outhouse shithole and no one will find me.
Oh,
what is my greatest fear? Have you looked around? It is -100 right now.
Bro,
I am so fucking cold.
It looks so awful. It looks so awful.
Have you seen that?
Hold on. Did you see that the Hawk Tuah girl thought that Canadians didn't have indoor toilets?
Well, a lot of you don't, and that's fine. You'll get
a lot of us don't really.
And we support your lack of.
This is just a roundabout way for Wolf to brag.
I understand there's a broad. There's a broad.
In the last 35 years, you guys have no cups, so I assume you have no bullet bowls.
Oh, I thought we were talking about those Indians that poop on the Canadian beaches.
Yeah, that's.
Well, they are wont to do that.
That's kind of.
They see that and they're like, "Oh, look at this pristine beach."